All right, joining us now is Alamogordo Tigers and Lady Tiger head golf coach, Tommy Standefer. Tommy, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Charles?
Not too bad. You guys got your season started yesterday at the Alamogordo Invitational. Seemed like kind of an up and down sort of day for you guys.
Yeah, we are really young. We've got one senior boy, Marcos DePorto, and one junior girl, Reagan Rhodes, and everybody else is 8, 9, or 10. So we are a little bit young and inexperienced.
And if anything, just getting tournament experience and getting time out there on the golf course. I know the biggest thing you and I talk about when we talk about golfers is how much time are they putting in the off season. Now is kind of maybe when they're catching up a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about how much experience you get, because there is no way I can practice all of the things that happen. And you were just out there a short time yesterday, and you see some just utter nonsense that you really don't practice, and so you have to be confident enough in your other skills so that you can get out of that stuff. And it's just experience, how many balls you hit.
Yeah, and I would, the other part about it is, the kids are out there by themselves. I mean, you guys can, coach them a little bit, but you've got 5 boys and 5 girls out there at the course at the same time, and so they have to be able to handle that on their own a little bit.
Yeah, golf's funny. The kids are responsible for rules. They kind of call their own fouls, and have to call fouls on other people. So they're responsible for all the rules in the rule book, plus keeping score and all of those things, and we're just kind of out there helping them along. So it's a lot of responsibility on the kids.
Yeah, a lot different than most of the other sports you see at high school level.
Yes, and there's a team aspect, but it's so individual in nature. And like I said, they're out there by themselves with kids from 3 or 4 other schools, and the only unifying thing they ever see is me or Scott Rhodes.
Yeah, and something else to mention, Desert Lakes is probably one of the longer, more difficult courses they're going to play throughout the season, right?
It is tricky.
Yeah.
It's the way the greens are built, they're all a little bit elevated, so you have to hit a high shot into the greens, except there's not a lot of grass out there this time of year, and so it's hard to get a club underneath the ball, and so it's a difficult course right now to chip on, and so we're suffering some of that.
Yeah. And should mention the boys finished 4th, girls finished 5th, and Reagan Rhodes picked up a state qualifying leg individually. Seems like on the girls team you feel like you can get some team qualifying in individuals, right?
Yeah, I'm just watching us hit the ball, and the ball's coming off the club and going places. We just don't have enough time on the golf course. I mean, other than Reagan, nobody has played a varsity tournament until yesterday. Yeah. And a couple of the kids, I mean, this is their first year out, and we're green, and it shows. We do stuff, we 4-putt, which you should never do, and just some things happen whenever you're not experienced, but we've got some real talent there.
Yeah, and that's what you were mentioning to me yesterday. The ball striking is there. You see that they can hit the ball, and they can hit the ball long if they're on that particular day.
Right, and most of our shots right now we piled on around the green yesterday. I mean, we are in position where we can score, and we're not scoring, and those are experienced things, and I expect us to get a lot better over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, those are things that you can fix and they can improve.
Oh yeah, those things whenever they click in, because we do the hardest thing pretty well. We hit the ball. That's the hardest thing, and so that other stuff you can get that going.
Yeah, and on the boys' side, kind of similar. It's just really young, really inexperienced, and if things come along, they're going to be there.
Once again, we're playing. Tannor Matherly and Tyler Cullers are both freshmen. They had some varsity experience last year, but that was right at the end of the year. Both of those kids had really good summers and up to this time to the season, so they're both going to be good players. Lamarco Terrazas is an 8th grader. We're first rattle out of the box yesterday, and then Kyler Gray is playing, and Bobby Ligon, and we just don't have a lot of varsity experience other than Marcos DePorto. So, we're going to fight. Once again, we have some real talent there, and I think by the end of the year we're going to start putting some scores together. I can see things happening. A couple of those kids yesterday, we had runs in the rounds of 4 or 5 holes where we play them even par or 1 over, and then we make an 11 because we get in trouble and we don't know how to manage some things. So it's back to that we're hitting it good enough. We have to learn how to manage some things and how to score when it's not perfect.
And just the fact that when scoring, when it does count, every stroke that you hit matters.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that happens is whenever you're not experienced and you're not used to playing that way, you get in a little trouble and you start slapping it around and you hit one out of bounds and then you top one and then you 3-putt and all of a sudden you got an 8. And you really should have got it in a 5. And those are the things we have to learn to do, is be a little tougher mentally and emotionally.
We'll see what happens there. Again, girls, if the girls qualify for state, how many is that during your tenure now?
We've been to the state tournament starting in '93. Well, this is my 25th year with the program. And we've qualified the girls team 24 of the 25 years.
So hopefully going to have that happen.
I think by the end of the year we'll be at a number that will get us to the state tournament.
And you got some boys in the team that if they play their best golf, there's some individual legs for sure.
We're going to pick up some individual legs, and the boys' scoring is so low. So basically with the boys, you've got to have 4 kids shooting 78 or better to get a team leg. You have to be very good. It's a little easier on the girl side, but the boys, it's tough. So we'll pick up some individual legs. We're just not to that point. I do think that we will. There's a couple of tournaments where I think we'll be close to getting those legs, and we may get them just because we're at the right golf course in the right weather, hopefully. But we're going to get some legs.
All right. Well, it seems like there's a lot of talent on the team and some excitement there, and Coach, we'll see how it goes.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, for our second part of our golf team interview, we've actually got the actual golfers out here with us, and we'll start with one that has some experience here in the radio station. We'll go from left to right, just have you guys introduce yourselves to the listeners.
I'm Reagan.
I'm Cheyenne.
I'm Tyler.
Tannor.
All right, so we got this group who was out at the Alamogordo Invitational yesterday, and again, Reagan, I'm gonna have you go first to this one. You got a state qualifying leg overall. I mean, how'd you feel like you played yesterday?
There's definitely lots of room for improvement. I mean, it is exciting to get a leg for state and everything, but it's much more exciting for the team to do it. So I need to improve as well as everyone else, so we'll just see where it goes.
All right. Cheyenne, how about you? I mean, what were your feelings at the end of the day?
It was a tough day. I definitely didn't do as good as I should have, but, I mean, it's golf. It's tough, so just got to play it out.
All right, very good. Tyler, how about you? What were you thinking at the end of the day when it finished up?
It was a tough day. Had a couple of bad holes. Couldn't hit the putter very good.
Otherwise, you feel like you had some good shots, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tanner, how about you? I mean, how did you feel like you hit the ball yesterday?
Overall, it was pretty good. I mean, there's definitely a few holes that definitely needed to be better, but I felt like it was an okay outcome.
Okay. And again, the boys finished 4th as a team. The girls finished 5th. And Reagan came away with a state qualifying leg. But it's, Coach was I feel like pretty positive and feels like that there's some, certainly on the boys' side, some individual qualifying legs. If you guys really improve, maybe some state. But Tanner, something that's pointed out, man, to get state qualifying legs is really difficult for the guys. You guys will be shooting in the 70s out there, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah. And what do you feel like you need to really improve on as the season gets better, maybe to get to that point?
Really. I've been hitting greens really good lately, so I really need to work on my putting and get it dialed in pretty good.
All right. Tyler, how about you? I mean, do you have like another, you shot 89 yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
So you feel like you got 10 shots in there possibly? Or?
Yeah. I could have, shot an 83.
Yeah.
To, as I said, a couple of bad holes that were caused because of my putting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Cheyenne, for you, I mean, was it putting? Was it something in particular that you saw, or just maybe? I'll let you finish that one.
Short game, probably.
Short game, yeah.
I should have done a lot better. My putting's getting better. It's just not the best.
Yeah, and I know Coach. I talked to Coach before you guys came over here, and he said that one of the tough things about Desert Lakes this time of year is that not as much lush grass out there, so it's kind of hard to get under the ball a little bit out there.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty thin.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Reagan, I mean, 91's what you shot. I mean, you figure you can be shooting closer to 80 as the season progresses. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where you're going to be shooting for. We've had Reagan in before, and I think I've chatted with her. You have to remind me, who got you started in golfing?
Golly, probably everyone in my family. It's just always been a thing for us. Like my dad, he's the boys' coach, so that has a big effect. And I've known Standefer since I was probably 2 years old, and his son, who was a big golfer AHS, so I would say a lot of family.
Yeah, of course, your older sister played on the team a few
Yeah.
years ago, and yeah, very good. Cheyenne, I mean, was there somebody in particular that got you started?
I went out and played a few times with my dad's cousin, and I really enjoyed it. And then I talked to some people at the golf course, and they said it was a really fun thing to do. So went ahead and tried it, and I like it.
Just kept up with it. All right. Tyler, how about you, buddy?
I would say my dad. He took me out when I was about 6 or 7. Started me. I quit for a bit because I kind of lost interest in it, and then when I was able to play in the high school team, I played.
Okay. Got you back into it.
Yeah.
All right. Tanner, how about you, man?
Mainly my dad. He's a big golfer, well known out of the golf course, but I've only been playing for about a year now.
What is it about the game that's kind of that's caught on for you that you're really interested in?
I don't know. I spent most of my summer out there last summer, and it's just been, I'm hooked for it.
Yeah. Well, and I'll ask you, because, I mean, you guys play for 2 months during the high school season, and the rest of it is, you guys having to go out on your own and trying to get better. I mean, Tanner, I mean, that's kind of a challenge. Is you guys were kind of left to your own to have to go out there and work on it. What did you work on in the off season to kind of get some improvement?
Mainly everything. I mean, we've had a lot of help from our head professional out at Desert Lakes. He's a really nice guy, but I've really been focusing on my chipping and putting, and then during the season I usually take care of that.
Gotcha.
That other stuff.
Tyler, you mentioned you had kind of stepped away from golf a little bit. I mean, heading into the season, where there's some things you're trying to focus on to get good at going into the year?
Yeah. I got my driving down, and it's worked on my irons most of the beginning of the year, and yeah, my putting's just I've been working on that a lot at practice. It's what brought my game down. So
yeah. Cheyenne, what do you do in the off season to kind of try go out and play rounds at Desert Lakes, or travel around and play, or?
I played a little bit in different places for this summer junior tour. Yeah, the Sun Country junior tour. But I go out and play with my parents quite a bit, and I really have been trying to work. It's just my short game's not the best.
No, that's fine. Just curious what you guys do in the off season, because again, I mean, you look at the other sports and they've got training camps and they've got this, and you guys, have, I'm sure, a lot of different things. Reagan, what were you working on in the off season?
Pretty much everything, yeah. And the great thing, like other sports, they have a lot of issues with like money and fundraising and stuff, but our golf course is so generous. Like, we get free lessons from both our pros, free balls, free rounds, and it's just, Desert Lakes has done a lot for our program, and it makes it really easy to go out there and want to practice and want to play.
Yeah. Did you go out and play the golf tour like Cheyenne did?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah.
I think almost every person on the varsity team this year went and did a few Sun Country tours.
And that makes a big difference. I know Coach talks a lot about, just getting out there on golf course and playing is a big difference for you guys, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we were at Desert Lakes yesterday, and I know I can name holes that I like and I don't like at the golf course. Reagan, we'll start with you. Favorite hole at a Desert Lakes?
My favorite hole is probably number 14 on the back, because it's just so easy. It's just straight, and it's a really short par 4, and when you hit the ball far, it's not hard to get done.
And the one that's the bane of your existence, and which
probably number 6. Yeah, it's just a lot of hills, and it's short too, but it's so short that it's difficult.
Gotcha. Cheyenne, how about you?
My favorite hole is probably number 7, because I've actually been doing pretty good with that one. It's like not the shortest hole, but it's pretty easy for me actually. I can get the ball down there. My least favorite's probably 3, because I always hit neither the houses or the driving range.
I remember that quite well. I know those houses, and where did it go? Tyler, how about you? You got a favorite one out there?
My favorite hole is probably number 13.
Okay.
It's more challenging. It's challenging. My worst favorite hole is going to be number 9. I always play bad on that hole.
That's another one that's really easy to hit it in the houses and such over there. Yeah. Tanner?
I happen to like number 9 because it's one of the easiest greens to hit as long as you keep it in the fairway.
Yeah.
I have to say my least favorite is probably going to be 7 because I can't ever keep the ball in the fairway.
There you go. There's always a block on some of those. I mean, they got the houses right there so many times. So, yeah, just Always smart for those people to have those big nets up to make sure that those of us that are out there are going to break a window or something like that.
Somehow it still seems to happen, though.
Doesn't it, though? Yeah, or if you're on the driving range and slicing or hooking real bad and catch a car, that's always...
ball.
We all know you guys like Desert Lakes. It's your home course, but overall, maybe the favorite course that you've had the chance to play on in playing golf. Tanner, do you have one that you really enjoy?
Yeah, New Mexico State University. It's always in good condition, good shape. Fairways are real lush and greens roll true.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful course. Tyler, how about you, man?
It's gonna be the same as Tanner. That one or Alto Lakes in Ruidoso.
Okay.
It's a fun course.
Very good. Cheyenne, you got a favorite course that you played on?
I haven't played very many, but the links I actually like because it's like tougher and it gives you more of a challenge.
All right. Reagan?
I would probably say the Alto 2 at Ruidoso because for girls like me and Cheyenne who hit the ball farther, it's fun and easy, but it can be very difficult at the same time.
Yeah, just got to hope the wind's down on that particular day, I'm sure. And any time this year. Talk about, I should ask that to you guys. Playing in the wind, because this time of year, it's just a given. You guys are going to end up doing that. Reagan, I mean, what's the biggest challenge for you in playing in the wind? Just not being able to hit it as far?
Well, at a certain point, you just start to hit the ball higher, and then it just becomes difficult because it just moves so easily when it gets that far up there.
Yeah.
And so we have to learn how to put the ball back in our stance and hit it low enough and still be able to control it. So it's very difficult.
Cheyenne, I mean, have you figured out how to play in the wind, or is that's still pretty challenging for you?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's still pretty difficult because I slice the ball a lot, and then depending on where the wind, like the direction of the wind, it doesn't help at all.
Yeah. Sometimes it may help, though, a little bit. Sometimes, all right. Tyler, how about you playing in the wind in New Mexico? That's probably one of the biggest challenges you guys face?
Some holes you got spots that you aim at. It all depends on which way the wind's blowing. So like I said, some holes you have a spot that you know the wind's gonna push it back into the fairway or onto the green.
Yeah, gotcha. Tanner, I mean, have you had a lot of opportunities to play in some bad wind in New Mexico yet?
Actually, most of our season is pretty windy, but you just really gotta focus on keeping it low and play the wind when it helps you and keep it low when it's gonna hurt you. But yeah, we play in the wind quite a bit in our season.
Just part of how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goals for this year for yourself? I mean, Tanner, we'll start with you. I mean, you have like numbers that you're trying to shoot every round. I mean, obviously, par is that's what you're looking for every time. But realistically, I mean, what are you looking for when you head out there on the golf course for a tournament?
I'm really shooting for low 80s. I want to improve every round, but I really don't think I'm going to get a leg this year. But whatever happens, happens,
Yeah. Tyler, how about you, man?
Yeah, it's gonna be low 80s. Try and get a qualifying leg. It's a bit rough.
It's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard to get a leg for the guys.
So just keep working at it and see if you can find it there for you. Cheyenne, I mean, what are you shooting for this year? Obviously, you getting on under 100, getting under 90. Is that what you're looking for each round?
Yeah, definitely in the 90s would be good. Just trying to get a leg for state.
Gotcha. Reagan, I mean, again, you what's the best round that you've shot before? I mean, you've been down in the 70s, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right?
I've shot 74 before, which was super exciting. But I would say my goal this year is to go as a team to state because I've gone individually and with the team, and it's definitely a better and cooler experience to go as a team. And I think we have a pretty good chance at a trophy if we make it. We have a lot of talent this year.
Yeah, and I know the other thing with the girls, there's so much history with the girls team, and Coach Standefer, I was talking to before, 25 years, and the girls have reached a team leg 24 of those. So is that a little bit of pressure for you guys, or not really?
I wouldn't say it is. It's a lot easier for the girls than the guys too, but it's just the hard part about it is not knowing how anybody else is doing during the tournament and just thinking you have to do your best for the other girls instead of worrying about what they're scoring.
All right, very good. Well, we'll see how the season goes for you guys. You head to Roswell on Tuesday for the next varsity tournament for the Alien 8, and we'll hope cross our fingers. You guys get some nice weather and a good day there. Thanks for coming in, and good luck this season, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.